In this video, I'm going to tell you the 6 roles your tech startup must have in order to succeed. Let's roll. What's going on, ladies and gents? It's Kevin from the Startup Hustle, and today we're talking about the 6 roles you need in your startup in order to succeed. Now, when I say roles, I sort of mean functional areas. What I'm giving you here is adapted from something I heard from Dave McClure on 500 Startups. I remember seeing this video online, and he had 3 roles in there. And since then, I've worked with a number of startups, including my own, and I've sort of seen it. I've broken it down a little further and added some of my own ideas. And I've seen it to actually be closer to 6 roles. So the first role is the visionary. So what this is really the crazy guy. I say that because this is usually the person who rallied everyone to begin with, and who sort of had the big idea, so to speak. It's the person who has both the short-term and the long-term vision. It's the person who drives the passion, who makes the difficult strategic decisions, and really is the person who drives and pushes forward the culture. It's really the person with the most belief and conviction, if you will. And this person is really important because they're the person who is going to sort of see the light even when there's nothing but ambiguity and darkness. So this is a really important role to have in your startup if you're looking to succeed. The second role I want to talk about is the hustler. Basically, this is the sales guy or girl. This is the person who's going out there pitching, making deals happen, managing customer and partner accounts, making sure that your customers are succeeding on your technology, so customer success management. Basically, they're the people person out there talking to all the key people that make your business work. The next role is the magician, and this is basically the marketer. This is the person who's going to be driving your promotional and advertising, strategic marketing, positioning efforts, basically making your brand stand out, crafting your story, your mission statements, things of this nature. Basically, it's the person that's going to make your app more desirable and really painted in the best light. I remember reading a marketing book that had this great quote. It was, "Marketing is the truth made fascinating." So their basic job is to make sure that your app and your tech idea or your product is presented in the best light possible. The next role you need in your company is the designer. And so this is in the app space. You probably need an interaction designer and a visual designer. Those are skills and also this person is someone who will be working on all the branding elements and anything on the creative side of things, visual, essentially anything that visually represents your brand. Arguably one of the most critical roles is the hacker. And so the hacker is essentially the person who builds your product. And so again, using an application development example, in this example there, we're talking about a full stack developer on front end, back end, and they also serve as sort of the CTO, and they really determine the technical direction of your company derived from the strategies and positioning you create. The final role I wanted to talk about, and one that's maybe sort of assumed to be always implicitly there, and is the enabler. And so what I mean by this is the person who keeps shit afloat, to be very honest. Essentially, it's the person who handles the operational things that including finance, legal, administrative, coordinating stuff, recruiting, just the things that from a enabling or background perspective keep the company moving forward and running and operating. So I just outlined 6 roles that you need in your company. Now, I want to be clear and say that does not mean that you need 6 people. These are basically 6 functional areas, roles, or if you want to call them skills. In fact, it's very likely that your founding team will probably be comprised of people who have more than one of these skills. For example, the visionary is something that sometimes pairs very commonly with the hustler, or so someone who's doing they have the whole strategy side of things, but they're also the people person out there hustling, or sometimes the magician, the marketer, and the hustler are one. Sometimes the visionary's role is shared among a couple of people. Maybe the marketer and the designer are kind of the magician and the designer. There's some overlap there. The hacker usually stands on its own. I find that role to be pretty more clearly enabled. And finally, the enabler is also another role, kind of like the visionary. It's something like, things need to get done, and usually people just rally together to get it done. So those are all overlapping roles, and I think the important thing to understand is that you need to make sure that all of those areas are covered. Now, with a two-person team, it's probably going to be tough to do all of those, at least not excellent or amazingly, but sufficiently well. With a three-person team, it might be a little easier. With a four-person team, that would probably be easier, but I want to mention that as the more people you get in your team, though, the more likely you are to run into misalignment and people having different ideas about the direction of the business. So it's sort of that balancing act. I'd say you want to make sure that you can cover as many or all the skills with the least number of people needed to do it in a competent way. I encourage you to analyze your own founding team or starting team structure, and think about how you're filling these gaps, and if you're not, where you can find the people or the means to sort of close this, be it educating yourself in these areas or whatever the case may be. If you found this video helpful and are looking for more tips on how you can grow and scale your startup, check out my channel. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday. Encourage you to subscribe to get everything as soon as it drops. And we'll see you in the next video, and I'd love to hear your guys' comments in the section below. Take care.